First, let's start with this case. I, 33F, am the only single childless person in my family. My siblings are in relationships and have kids. We're planning family vacation and discussing sleeping situations and cost for the cabin we'll share this summer. I would have to share a room with my parents. I don't really mind sharing, but would love to have my own space. Unfortunately, that isn't possible where we vacation. Cost is cabin plus pet fee, divided by couple, but they want me to pay the same amount they are paying. Considering it's just me and I won't have my own space for my only vacation of the year, I don't think I should have to pay the same amount as everyone else. I could go have a quiet vacation solo for the same price. They'll also calculate food cost and divide it evenly. I'm truly not asking for a big discount, lol. Most of my family isn't chiming in, but a couple of them are saying, that's not how it works in the real world, when I've said, I don't believe that's fair. Am I the idiot for telling them I don't want to go? More context. I work with kids and do not get PTO. I have chronic pain and get overstimulated quickly, so I'm always disappearing for a bit to reset myself mentally during family functions. I'm also the only person that doesn't drink and am kind of an outsider in my family because of that and political views, so there tends to be a lot of what feels like them ganging up on me. I've been told we do it every day, it's your turn. In regards to taking care of the kids numerous times at gatherings, my response is always that I would have kids if I wanted to do it every day. They seem to think I don't deserve to relax because I've decided not to have children. I hate missing out on time with the kids, but know I would 100% end up taking care of them, all under 3-0, while the rest of the adults drink, and it wouldn't be much of a vacation for me. I didn't go last year for this reason. Let's start judging. Let me see if I have this right. You're sharing a room with your parents, but you're paying the same as everyone else. You're expected to take a turn babysitting, but you don't have any kids. Not sure about this one. Food costs are divided evenly per family, which means you're paying the same for one person as your parents are for two. Your siblings are for 2+ kids. Or per person. You often feel ganged up on. Boy, I would be running so far in the opposite direction that I'd leave skid marks on the ground. You're not in the wrong. You're not in the wrong. This doesn't sound like much of a vacation at all. How it works in the real world is that people get to choose, and you can just choose not to subsidize their accommodation cost. At the very least, accommodation costs should be split by bedroom, not by person couple. But beyond all that, if these trips don't make you happy, then don't go. Family obligation goes both ways, and if they won't meet you in the middle, then don't martyr yourself. You're not in the wrong. You wouldn't pay to eat at a restaurant only to find you're expected to do the cooking, serving, and washing up. If they want a vacation from their children, they should pay a nanny or leave them behind. Next up, early on in our marriage, I shared with my wife how my parents would buy treats and not share them with us kids. We were dirt poor to the point of going hungry, and sometimes they would buy things like ice cream or Fritos or something like that, and it was hands off for the kids. So now here we are with 4 kids of our own. We are not poor, but we are not rich. We have an overstocked snack cupboard, and the kids don't want anything. They are free to get snacks as they want. We rarely deny them what they ask for. When we have a treat, everyone gets it. I really enjoy sitting down and drinking cold, sparkling water. Like a bubbly or a LaCroix, etc., it calms me down. My therapist even recommended it as a way to restart. The thing is, the kids also love sparkling water, so when we buy a 12-pack, it is gone in less than 2 days. Sure, I've had a couple, but when I want one again, they are all gone. Sometimes we will go crazy and buy a couple Costco packs, which just means that everyone drinks them at double the rate. And when I want one, they are once again gone, even if I expected there to be some. I don't think it's a wise budget move for everyone in the family to constantly be drinking sparkling water, especially when we are trying to save money. But I want one when I want one. My wife and kids think this is selfish, and my wife will remind me what I told her about my own family. I want to be able to enjoy sparkling water when I want, without the fear of them being gone. Sometimes I will hide a couple in the fridge and be extra upset when I discover they are gone. Shouldn't I, at age 44, be allowed to have something of my own, like sparkling water? I've considered buying my own mini fridge, but that seems ridiculous, and it's not cost or energy effective. And how would that be different? I've asked my family to help me resolve this, and they just think I'm being selfish and should just go without sparkling water when everyone else goes without, and have some when everyone else is having some. Am I in the wrong? Let's start judging. You're not in the wrong. I don't think it's wrong to want your own treat and not have to rush to beat others to it. I came from a family where everything is game and married into one where you gotta ask if someone bought something for themselves. I like the way the family I am married into does it. There's nothing wrong with setting boundaries on things you buy for yourself, as long as you're cool with the kids, and wife also doing that for themselves. But that sort of thing would need to be agreed upon with your wife in order to take effect. You should talk to your wife about everyone getting to buy one thing that no one else touches, without at least asking first. It's good to learn boundaries and learn that not everyone's food is your food. You're not in the wrong. But the point of a treat is that it is exactly that. It's not something that's on tap, excuse the pun. Get rid of the treat cupboard to start. The fact they can have anything they want, whenever, means they aren't appreciating it. 2. Go shopping as a family. Give everyone either a budget or a treat limit that they can purchase as they wish. Be clear that these are their treats, and once they are gone until the next week. You don't get to dip into other people's treats, including your water, unless they are specifically offered to you by the owner. You're not in the wrong. When we were kids, my mom always had a bottle Ribena, gorgeous blackcurrant cordial, that we were never allowed. It was her favorite, and we would have drunk that bottle in 2 days. We wanted it. The answer was no. There were plenty of other drinks to be had, and they were ours. I would get a SodaStream or similar item from another company. Your kids need to learn that they can't have everything just because they want it. Sharing only goes so far, and you should be allowed to have your own treats. Next up, so basically the title, we got puppies. I love them, but they are a lot. Very busy bees. And it's been a minute since I've done the puppy thing and never two together. It's been an adjustment. We discussed beforehand, and I had very specific conditions, namely regular walks, and we had to commit to training so they'd be well adjusted and we could travel with them easily. My partner was very on board, so we adopted towards the end of last year and started puppy classes within a week. Our initial puppy course was 6 weeks long, and by week 4 they were miffed about going and sacrificing their Saturday mornings. By last week they were glad it was finally over. I took over doing the homework with both pups by week 4 because it irritated them. The pups weren't picking things up fast enough for them, so I thought it would be better for the pups for me to take over. They did one walk and complained because the puppy was weaving around and not walking at heel properly, so I've taken over those as well. We have started basically obedience now, and I'm training both. There are a lot of other examples should anyone want more info, but essentially the partner is now broody and wants a baby. Would I be in the wrong if I pointed out they couldn't make it through a 6-week puppy class course? How on earth would they manage a baby? Let's start judging. Run, run, run. Take the puppies and run. This is not someone to consider having an equal partnership with, let alone children. Be glad it was puppies and you can take them and run. You're not in the wrong. You are correct. And also, in my experience, they won't behave for them if they don't put any work into training. If they know that your partner will get exasperated and give up, they will run roughshod over them while being perfect angels for you. And the same goes for kids. Lots of, but she's better for you, and but you're better at changing diapers, and he just wanted mom-dad in your future with this partner. You're not in the wrong. Your trial run with the pups has shown you exactly how your partner handles stress and responsibility. As someone with both well-behaved dogs and human teenage children, can 100% confirm that kids are 1000x more work than puppies. They can't even fan toilet themselves for the first 3 years or so, FEFs. And that responsibility lasts, at minimum, 18 years. Under no circumstances should you seriously consider having a child with this person. They couldn't handle 6 weeks of puppy class, plus follow-up and basic care thereafter. How in the name of Zeus's butthole are they going to manage 6 to 12 months of nighttime feedings, short sleep, 3 to 4 years of changing diapers, doing extra laundry, never sleeping in again, etc.? Make sure you end up with the pups when you leave, or they're liable not to be properly cared for. Next up, I-31F recently visited my friend to catch up. We don't see each other often, so one of the topics was, of course, the start of the new year and our New Year's resolutions. I mentioned how I've spent the recent weeks learning to actually play chess. For context, by learning, I mean using chess websites and apps to do lessons and play against bots. I'm not brave enough to play with my fellow humans just yet. I clearly still have a long way to go, but I'm quite proud of my progress so far and enjoy chess puzzles, games, moving on to stronger bots, etc. I explained it all to my friend. Her boyfriend, 34 meters, heard my chess rant and offered to play with me. I got genuinely excited as it would be my very first time playing over the board instead of on my phone computer. Well, I won. My friend thought it was hilarious, so we laughed it off. Her boyfriend disagreed and got angry. I got accused of blindsiding him and trying to humiliate him in his own house. Again, he offered to play. I had no idea he even owned a chessboard until that point. My friend was on my side and said he was a sore loser, which only annoyed him more. We ended the meeting soon after. Am I in the wrong? Was I supposed to let the host win the game? Compulsory disclaimer: English is not my first language. Edit. Just to explain, the joke we made was how I seem ready to play against humans after all, and how I have a 100% win rate so far. We didn't mock his play. We focused on my win rather than his loss. Let's start judging. You're not in the wrong. He wouldn't have laughed it off if he'd won. He would have told you all about how nothing can replace the time and experience he has, and blah, blah, blah. Long story short, your friend is 100% right. He's a sore loser and he's throwing a tantrum because the girl didn't let him win. You're not in the wrong. If anything, the assumption here would be that he was the experienced player going easy on the newbie. The only time I would ever expect to intentionally throw a game would be with people you are trying to teach, where you might make concessions and give them opportunities to learn from, where you are walking in knowing there is an ulterior motive to the game. It turns out this guy thought a basic knowledge of chess would easily let him show off in front of the newbie. You're not in the wrong. I used to work at a youth center and some of the kids really liked chess. I got my butt kicked constantly by teenagers and I never whined or cried about being tricked or humiliated. Lol. Your friend's BF was being a poor sport. It's kind of concerning that he views losing a game as humiliating. Next up, I'll call myself A4F and my fiancé B, 25 mens, are set to wed in a couple weeks. He recently moved his mother, she's in her 50s, and his sister, 21, and her kids closer to us, so we could all be a family, as I do not have one myself since I grew up in the foster system, and he thought it would be a lovely idea to be close and to help his family out. For the past 2 years, his family has done nothing except cause chaos in our lives. They refused to pay rent for several months because they realized B had a very well-paying job and he's such a good guy. He kept paying all their bills, even if it made us short at our home. At one point, B told his family they needed to start paying rent, or they would have to find a new place to live. This is where it gets crazy. About 3 weeks after that conversation, B did not go see his family, and the cops were called about a false claim against him, and his sister got a restraining order claiming he threatened her over kicking them out. His mom had stayed with us a few years ago when her boyfriend was beating her, so we gave her a place to stay and she got a house key. We did not know that she eventually made herself many copies. During this fight that's going on, I got very ill for several months, as I have many health problems that limit me from doing things. We always leave our front door locked because the town we live in isn't that safe. Twice his mother has drunkenly let herself in and threatened us with violence or demanding we give her our stuff. I filled out a statement at the police department, and the officer I spoke to gave me the paper back and told me to get a restraining order. I told my fiancé about this and he begged me not to go through with it, so I listened and did nothing. I am 7 months pregnant, and this feud between him and his family is getting worse, to where we are seeing a lawyer about his sister's claims. And the lawyer found my original police statement in our papers and read it over and told me that I have time to turn it in still and have his mother arrested. I also have pictures of his mother from when she broke in. I'm not sure if I will turn it in if there will be problems for us with the case, or if I'm just an idiot for sending an older woman to jail. So my question is, am I in the wrong for wanting her arrested and having charges pressed against her? Let's start judging. You're not in the wrong. You ignore things like that, and it's like telling mother-in-law it's okay. Things will just escalate. The fact that Bill was supporting his family at the expense of your family was already a bad sign of where his priorities lie. Also, knowing his family, he never should have moved them closer. Bill told you not to do the restraining order. That was his latest bad advice. He's placing his evil mom and sister over your safety. He either needs to wake up and help, or he needs to become your ex. You're not in the wrong. Your boyfriend prefers that you be at risk to a drunk that threatens you. Makes me question the relationship. It would not be you doing something against her. She's doing it herself, and you're simply protecting yourself. You're not in the wrong. Your fiancé's mother is causing you unnecessary stress while you're pregnant. His family is becoming a liability, and he needs to have a serious talk about this whole situation with them, if not distance himself for at least a while. I'd also recommend you change your locks and get a Ring camera for the front and back doors, in case your future mother-in-law decides to make another drunken, threat-filled visit.